Are your ulcerative colitis symptoms proving difficult to manage? Tremfya guselkumab can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. At 1 year, many patients taking Tremfya achieved clinical remission, and some patients also achieved endoscopic remission. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor if Tremfya can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
We don't call them units. We call them the Fastest Labs family. That's not the language that we use. That culture is very much one of family. So spreading family culture, and you see it and you feel it within any conversation you're having with current franchisees. And it's just something that's echoed throughout our system and then also within our home office.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the latest edition of FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast. I am Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of FranCoach and your podcast host. Today, we have a guest joining us today to talk about one of their franchises. It is a sneaky good B2B option, physical location, surprisingly low investments, recurring revenue, needed services, all these amazing things that you want to be locked into for this one. So that guest is coming up here in a second. First, as always, a quick reminder of who we are. FranCoach is a national search firm dedicated to working with individuals interested in owning a franchise. We're partnered with well over 600 of the top brands spanning 70 industries. Number one goal is to help get you properly educated on franchise ownership to determine if you should own one. If so, we're going to help you figure out what is your absolute best brand to own. So that is us. And now coming up next from Fastest Labs is Brandy Reed. She's joining us next. All right. And now time to get to our guest. This guest is so amazing. She doesn't even have a title. She's just Brandy. Like one name, we'll throw the last name in, Brandy Reed, but she's just so franchise awesome. It is Brandy. And Brandy Reed is joining us to talk about Fastest Labs. Brandy, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We are excited to talk to you and learn about Fastest Labs. But this is, as you well know, you've been doing this in this industry a long time. Franchising is a people business. Even though if everyone that knew us, we're going to rank the most non-people friendly people in franchising, you and I might make that top 10 list. But
we might.
It's I'm not saying in the top 5, but we'd probably be on the top 10. But but this is a people business. So give us a little Brandy scoop. How did you get into this, and how long have you been in this crazy world of franchising?
I have been in franchising for a little over 10 years. I got into it kind of by accident. I was working as a consultant, and I was helping a gentleman position his company to sell. And so he was retiring, kind of. He was working with someone to look at what his options would be for his next steps, his next phase in life. And so she and I communicated over timing, and she kept saying, you should do this, you should try this. And I kept saying no. And then I thought, maybe I should look into it. And then the rest is history.
Yeah. And when you got started, it was kind of on the same side as what we do here at FranCoach. You're a broker, consulting, coach, whatever term gets thrown out there.
All of them.
And I think it's almost everybody we talk to, and literally like I can count, I think one time I've had somebody when I've asked that question, it wasn't something accidental that they get into franchise. And then just like you, then it's 10 years later and maybe we might move around a little bit in the industry, but people don't ever really get out. And so, and you and I had a very similar journey into this. And then now I'm excited to hear you've kind of come to the dark side or left the dark side, depending on the view and the behind the scenes world of franchising. But now over at Fastest Labs, so we want to get into things that the owner will do and the staff and the support and all that stuff. But what the heck is the business? What is the kind of the services, Fastest Labs, and who are those customers?
Fastest Labs is a completely non-medical lab. So we are doing drug, alcohol, and DNA testing. So I will say again, though, absolutely non-medical. No blood, no phlebotomists, no doctors, no nurses, completely non-medical, not having to have any of the oversight of HIPAA, extra insurance, liability, etc. Typically, the people that are using our services are employees for pre-employment screening. They also have ongoing services if there's random drug testing or alcohol testing. And then we have the DNA testing component as well, which would be more on our consumer side. But 70% of our business is B2B, about 30% B2C.
Gotcha. So a business is hiring somebody and they say, hey, we need a drug and alcohol test or something like that before we hire Tim. We got to make sure all of those things that business is going to then refer the person to you guys to come in. Correct.
Right. And Tim is going to have a great experience when he comes in because he's going to be seen within 5 minutes. He's going to be offered water in a very nice, clean space. It's instant test results. So Tim's employer or prospective employer is going to like that as well because they are going to get the results before Tim is even back in his car.
And Tim will like it because there's no blood drawn because
yes.
Tim will pass out. So that's an added bonus to this. Okay.
Right.
Excellent. I feel like, you offer them water. Maybe you should like, hey, we got want a beer? Like, see if you can kind of tease them into making a bad choice right before the test. Maybe
before they do their alcohol test, their screening. Right. That'd be great.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or
very good.
Hey, you passed. Here's
your beer.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
we don't offer that at this time, but I'll make note of that.
Yeah, go ahead and suggest that. Pass that on up for me. So
will do.
Okay. So, and again, non-medical. So we're not doing those things, which, and we're going to get into that more, how that kind of affects the overall business model. But so,
sure.
Now we've got an owner, with this. And so couple things right off the bat. Do we require owners to be full-time or are they able to be that fun word in franchising semi-absentee?
We require full-time, but I like to explain that it is not owner operator where you're putting 60 plus hours in. You're not buying yourself a job. These are very nice hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So banker's hours. Now, if they choose to operate outside of those hours, they may. But most of our franchisees are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Right. Well, and again, that's kind of the business model and the customer that's coming in. They know that these are employment related things. We do these within kind of employment related hours, right? So, gotcha. And if you were open a little later one day or, a few hours on a Saturday or whatever, it's probably getting you more business. So you have that opportunity to do so if you wanted, but certainly not required, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Do we need, like, and again, I know most times in franchising, you're not sitting there looking to go, okay, how much drug and alcohol testing background do you have as an owner? But what really are you kind of looking for in an owner? Some things that you probably need them to be good at to be the right fit for you guys?
Yeah, first and foremost, we're not looking for anyone who has direct industry experience. It's okay if you do, but we're not looking for that specifically. What is more important to us is that someone has sales and or marketing experience, is really comfortable in that business development role, because that is what's going to take up the majority of your day to day. So sales, marketing, business development, if you've held roles that are in similar areas.
Right. Or even that, beyond that, maybe you've had the role, but you hated it, right? Like you've got to be in that position where you like being out in that B2B community, connecting,
Yes.
building relationships. Because these are, I'm guessing, very long-term relationships with that business client, because they're going to continue to refer people to you over and over. Is that right?
Absolutely. Because you have that pre-employment, but then you have the ongoing testing as well. So, and then if you have things that are, court ordered, that is an ongoing relationship that you're wanting to have and making more connections within that as well. There's a lot of networking opportunities with different businesses to get those contracts for clients.
Gotcha. So, and you mentioned 70% plus of the business is B2B. So that's really incumbent on that owner to be good at, comfortable with. Like, they're not sitting behind a desk all day long, right? Their butts need to be out and about and like developing new business, but I'm also guessing kind of continue to build and continue to grow the relationships that they already have, right? It's is that kind of a big part of the day?
Uh-oh, the last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
Go further with the American Express Business Gold Card. Earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels when you book through AmexTravel.com. Whether your destination is a business conference or a client meeting, your purchases will help you earn more points for future trips. Experience more on your travels with Amex Business Gold. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the majority of the day. So someone really, not like you said, to your point, not just good at it, but actually enjoys that, would like that to be their regular, the regular part of their day to day.
So again, just with Fastest Labs, in some ways, there's a smaller offering of things that you're going to provide, but really good at it and really fast at it, versus like you go to Quest, and I've had some things done there in the past. I'm like, who the heck knows when those results are going to get back to me, like short of it being super urgent, like, hey, my leg's going at a 45-degree angle, probably get those results back a little bit quicker than, hey, we're just doing some blood for blah, blah, blah. That might be a week. Whereas you're talking with Fastest Labs, I mean, again, it's literally like almost by the time I'm out the door, those results are in there to whoever whether it needs to come to me, needs to come to that employer. It's almost instantaneous, correct?
Right. It is. For the drug and alcohol screening, those are instant results. So where you go into like a Quest or LabCorp, you're waiting with everybody else who's getting the other testing done. Typically, those are priority. Blood testing is priority over drugs and alcohol. And also, even within the system, they're having to input it. So there is the room for error. It could take till the next day, sometimes longer. Employers are having to call to follow up on that. So the employer side of that, they're getting the instant results. The employee or the consumer side of that, they're able to get in and get out without having to do without having to wait. And then also, when there's things that are mandated, like let's say through the court for paternity, or any other court mandated thing, there's instant results for those things within drug and alcohol. So that also satisfies the requirement that they have, and that makes them happy as well.
Gotcha. Okay. So I can't just say it wasn't my kid. I now have to go in there and go to Fastest Labs, right?
Yes, but although for the DNA, we do send that out. That is something that has to be sent out, and then we report it. But yes.
Or
no,
like
you cannot say that.
I want to go to 23andMe and say I am the rightful heir to the, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, we can help with that, I guess.
Yeah. I did get an email the other day that I may be the heir to some throne of some African country that I've never heard of. So
did you click on the link?
Oh yeah, I gave him all my information.
Perfect.
So I'm sure the money should be there any moment.
Any moment.
Yes. Don't try this at home, people. We're just kidding. Hey, everyone. I wanted to take a quick break from our podcast to tell you about our amazing friends at Entrepreneur. If you're looking to become a franchisee or simply learn more about business ownership, and guys, let's be honest, you're listening to the Franchising 101 podcast, so we know you have some interest in this. And I really encourage you to go to entrepreneur.com to check out all of their great content and resources. Seriously, Entrepreneur has everything, all the way from a bookstore to the best podcasts, webinars, and videos, plus information on upcoming events and the latest articles that seriously, they cover all aspects of franchising and business ownership. If you're having trouble deciding which franchise is right for you, start with Entrepreneur's renowned Franchise 500 ranking, which highlights the best franchises of 2022. For 45 years and counting now, Entrepreneur has been and continues to be the most widely recognized and respected authority in the franchise market. Digital and print subscriptions are available, so you never miss out on anything. So seriously, what are you waiting for? Go to entrepreneur.com right now and learn more. With Fastest Labs, like clearly we have some sort of physical location. So kind of talk us through what are those requirements? How big? Where do we put it? And how is the franchise going to help?
Okay, so it is Class B real estate. We're not looking to attract people that are driving by, but we're placing the franchisee in a location, and we are helping with that so that they're central of their protected territory, as central as they can be. Right. So Class B real estate, you're looking at 600 to 1,200 square foot footprint. You are starting off with 2 employees, one of which is the franchisee. So you have the sales and business development person and the person that's in the lab.
Gotcha. Okay. And that person is basically checking everybody in, and there was, like, hey, here's the bathroom, go do this, like, hand the stuff. Basically kind of that. I mean, it's a really simple staffing model. We don't need much space. We don't need many people, right, for this. As you grow in that location, do you get to a point where you need more people than like essentially kind of one person on staff at any given time?
Yes. As you grow, you'll add staff, but our largest office has 4 people total. Oh, wow. So it's still minimal staffing for the location.
Okay. And then we've got the territory. And as we get to, for anybody that was thinking more long-term growth mindset, is this something we can do multiple units of or multiple locations of?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then as you know, there are some places that it's required that you've got to start out with 2 or 3 or whatever. You can start with a single, but again, if there's somebody has the capability, not just financially, but as you guys are going to vet them, like the mindset, the business savvy to be able to be a multi-unit, that is something that's available as well, right?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. And then talk a little bit about the support from the franchise. So real estate, and maybe let's kind of back up and go there because this isn't, again, Class B. So we're not like, in the high-end strip mall that everybody can see and everybody's fighting for, but there's still a commercial lease and there's still build out and all of those things. And I think most everybody we talk to, if I ask the question of somebody like, how many commercial leases have you signed in your life? Right? The answer is probably a big fat 0. So
right.
Shut up and listen to the franchise. So walk us through some of the things that you guys are going to do and I'll always emphasize the word help. You're not doing it for them. Hey, here's the place. It's all ready to go. But how are you guys going to help that person find and get everything built out?
So we're going to, part of the onboarding process is helping them to identify the basic area that they want to be in. And then depending on how they're starting out with employees, but typically the 2, which is the right. franchisee is included in 1, then they will formulate a plan as to what that needs to look like. Once they find a building or have an idea of have options, then they would talk about how to build out those spaces and will be part of that process if there's some determining factor with the location for that.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. And again, this is a simple build out, right? I mean, there's not much to it. We need it to be nice and clean. We need people to see it as they get there. But you're right. Like, we're not just like we're in the Target Plaza and we're walking down the strip mall and going, hey, let's go in and get some drug and alcohol testing today, honey. Like
Right.
we're not, that's not date night. Right. So, okay, you've got that. And then talk about some of the other things from a marketing, or not necessarily marketing, but just an overall support standpoint, whether it's marketing, hiring, whatever. What are some of those other key elements of the support from Fastest Labs?
There's in-depth sales training. We have a national marketing director who works with you to produce. The technology piece is a very big, strong suit with it as well. It's a customized tablet solution. There is the Lab Fusion, which is the proprietary software for it to instantly test and get instant results. The person signs on it. There's no one else has that. For that, as far as the technology goes, we use for marketing, we use Scorpion to build the site. It's completely customizable. Each person has their website, full marketing plan, the rep to help you develop the campaign. We provide all the tools. So HubSpot being the CRM, PandaDoc, which handles all of the agreements, QuickBooks, it's the advanced online version. FranConnect, which keeps everyone connected. There's a chat portal, library for all the digital assets, and access to all the vendors as well.
Awesome.
And one more, they have, I'm so sorry, also Zoom Info, which helps aid in their ability to contact businesses and know who they are, how many employees. It's all loaded in the zip code that are within the territory for within the CRM. And for those who don't know what Zoom Info is, it's like Zillow for businesses.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. And then as a franchise, right? So Fastest Labs has been around for 15 years almost, something like that. We've got about 150, 200 units around the country. Am I in the ballpark with that?
It was started in 2008. So your math is close. That's
Harvard. I went to the Harvard of the Midwest, Brandy. So that's why.
Yeah. Me too. I'm just better in math, I guess. And then 232.
Okay. So part of that then also helps when you think of, like, I'm guessing if I'm coming in as a new owner and I'm going through training, like, oh my gosh, like I love doing B2B sales, but who do I go find? There's, 200 plus owners with tons of examples of, hey, this is the type of business, or I'm sure there are some like clients of Fastest Labs in one location that's, they actually may be clients of Fastest Labs all over the country, right? From just a growth standpoint, or businesses having locations around the country that your owners can almost kind of share best practices. Hey, I just went to this group, and by the way, Brandy, they've got an office in your town as well. Like,
yes.
Am I just making that up, or is that something that really goes on?
No, you're not making it up. That sounds great. I mean, because that's very accurate. FranConnect, what I mentioned before, is a great way for the franchisees to all connect. I know that a lot of people say this that are in franchise development, but it really is very connected with the franchisees. They all are very collaborative and work well together. And just like the things that you had mentioned, that is something that is a pretty big norm within our group.
Yeah. I think it's really maybe the most hidden aspect of being a franchise owner, and from a support standpoint, or yes, the franchise, they're going to train me. They're, we've got a business coach, or we've got this, or we've got that. There is no better resource than the other owners in that system to be able to reach out. And I know, especially here of late, you guys are really doing a great job of fostering that relationship and collaboration, which is, again, like, it's the whole point of the franchise. Here's a proven system. Here's one that's been proven with 200 plus owners around the country. Like, don't screw it up, people. Just get in there and follow the plan and use your resources, right? So
yes, absolutely.
Excellent. What are we missing that maybe we haven't talked about regarding Fastest Labs that you really want to make sure everybody knows?
I really want to emphasize on the culture, which I just touched on, but just saying that, like, we even go so far, we don't call them units, we call them the Fastest Labs family. We don't say, it's not the language that we use. That culture is very much one of family. So spreading family culture, and you see it and you feel it within any conversation you're having with current franchisees. And it's just something that's echoed throughout our system and then also within our home office.
Yeah. And part of like the culture is such a buzzwordy thing, right? That gets bounced around, but it's also real. And it's no different than, whether it's a franchise or a business or heck, just our families, right? We all have, if you don't know who your crazy uncle is, guess what? It's you. Right? And so,
Right.
But being able to, part of that vetting process, and being able to help people go through that is when you get to talk to franchise owners, right? To me, it's a great question to ask a franchise owner. I'm like, hey, do the owners, do you guys talk to each other? Right. And there'll be some brands I'm like, no, not really. I'm like, well, that's okay. That may be exactly where you want. But when you want that more, like, oh, Brandy's saying it's family, must be family. Well, maybe Brandy's a dirty liar, right? Maybe you get in there and talk to franchise owners. They are not going to lie. They are going to tell you that exact thing. And obviously when you get to meet the team day and you get to meet the team, guess what? You really, that is something you're going to be able to take away very, very strongly from Fastest Labs. So,
Yes.
Very, very cool. And 200 plus locations. Like, does that mean we're sold out all over the place? Do we still have tons of opportunity for people to come in as a new owner?
Yeah, we have tons of open territory, tons of great territory, and we have quite a few areas still that have multi-territories for those that are interested in something like that.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Brandy, I know you are super busy with growing everything with Fastest Labs. I greatly appreciate you coming on today to talk to us. So thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks again to Brandy for joining us to talk about Fastest Labs, and thank to all of our loyal podcast listeners for tuning in. As always, I hope these episodes provide some insight into the amazing possibilities that can be achieved as a franchise owner. If you are ready to learn a little bit more, we're heading into the end of the year, which means new year, new you there, brothers and sisters. Let's get this thing going. Reach out to our team, FranCoach.net. Never any fee for our service. We are here to help you kind of create your better tomorrow. You're listening to this podcast, you've got some interest. Get on the phone with our team at FranCoach and talk. Follow us on all our social media channels for FranCoach, for Franchising 101 podcast, and our new TV show, for the Franchising 360 show, every Friday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Biz TV. Hope everybody is about to have a happy holiday season. We will be back next week. I don't care if holidays or not. We'll be back here with you next week on another edition of the Franchising 101 podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk with you then.